This is where we actually have the connectivity from your vehicles coming into us. We get fault codes, temperatures, pressures, sensor positions, all kind of things, right? And then our service engineering team working with the tier one suppliers, with Eaton, with Allison, with Cummins, with Bendix, and so forth. We take those things, and in a minute, we'll show you a live dashboard and walk through how we Pareto those things out and combine the connectivity with our service intelligence to position you and the team at Western Michigan and K&R to take action now. And think about what's changed over time. Some of you, as I can see, have a little bit of gray in your hair and on your beards. When we all got into the industry, drivers could talk about, I heard, I felt, I smelled, I saw, and probably knew 80% of what it was to fix that truck, right? That's not what we have today. The driver pool that's available to you all and the complexity on these trucks to make them as efficient as they can be and to meet emissions regulations and other regulatory things means you just don't have that conversation, right? So connected technologies in this is vital to get you all positioned to take care of a problem on a truck, not 5 or 6 problems, because the driver may sense something's going on, but it's running okay, so we'll keep running it, right? So get the visibility. How do I take action? Well, that gets us to the second part of the equation, a system that we released a little over 2 years ago called International 360. So I've read and I understand what's going on the truck. I talked to the driver. They said, yeah, now that I mention it, now I need to take it to a dealer. Well, if you're working in your home stores, right, you all and they pretty much know how to communicate with each other. But many of our customers operate over a broader area and they get into different dealer organizations. And do I email with this guy? Do I call them? Should I expect a text? That becomes a hassle, right? So International 360 takes the data we took in an OCC, moves it over so you and the dealer share it and start from the same page of what's wrong with this truck. And then every interaction that happens on the course of that repair gets documented and visible there. And what's important is certainly we have a little bit of double work for our service writers and shop foremen and that, but we have integrated into many of our dealers' business systems. If they make one entry in one place, it appears everywhere. And then some of our other Navistar team is on this. When you reach out to us for help, we're starting knowing what's happened as opposed to having to reconstruct an event. And so then last year on our LT, RH, and Lone Star platforms, we built on top of these two some things we call intelligent fleet care. So that's now about factory installed hardware and the deeper data it gives me off the truck and our ability to reboil the ocean differently, to leverage and give you different maintenance intervals than we would on our own, to give you a deep dive into fuel analytics. It enables our over-the-air programming and calibration, so we can send firmware updates to the vehicles, both our engine and the Cummins, and change parameters on it. And then another exciting feature, some of you are using Telematics today. We've worked with our hardware to make it like a universal cable box. We've done gateway integration with that's totally complete with 2 customers today, rolling out to other providers to where they don't have to install additional hardware. They use what we built in the factory and it powers their compliance and other solutions. So again, OCC, we're going to look at the real dash. That's about visibility to the health. And because of the way we integrated with the telematics industry at large, it's an all makes tool. So we as International and IC Bus aren't asking you to remember another login to look at what you bought from us and then go to another page, another page, and another page. We source your base telematics, roll it all into one. And the reason that works is in 2010, the entire industry had to become OBD heavy duty compliant. Low coolant on a truck or a bus is the same fault, no matter whose name's on the front of the vehicle, no matter what name's on the engine. So we have proven throughout the 9 years of this program, we can get you to the right answer, let you know how bad that problem is, and position you again to take action on it. And I just spoke to using your telematics. We have 33 partners sending us data. So if your organization has made a decision on how you get this GPS information, how you handle your fuel tax reporting, how you keep track of your driver compliance and route optimization, odds are exceedingly high. They're in my infrastructure. Your ability to link may be as simple as enrolling through the team here at Western Michigan K&R and getting us some credentials to touch that database. So important, again, we're not, neither as a dealer organization nor us as the OE, we're not telling you what to buy or not buy. we've worked to reach out to the solutions that are in the marketplace, make sure we can get that data and work to help you, our mutual customers, with everything you own. 360, Brian and his team are really going to take a dive in that. And like I say, that's how you communicate with us differently and better. What's happened in the shop? How do I walk through it? Our advanced preventive maintenance scheduling's there, where again, you and our dealer team can see and understand the same thing about trucks and take actions on them. So I'm done with PowerPoint. We have a habit as a team of not beating you up with that. So let's get into a real dashboard, look at some real trucks, and walk through what it is that customers are doing today with this tool. And again, I'll call out, like I said earlier, if you have any questions on the way, this is your time. Use that chat bubble on the top, get that question to us. You know, Brian's watching while I'm talking. I'll be paying attention when it's his turn, and we'll make sure we get these things answered on the fly. All right, so pulling through, again, this is a live customer, live trucks. This is Hirschbach Motor Lines over in Iowa there. They've given us permission to use their data for demos like this. Certainly, we hope to get some of you all enrolled and work with you to be able to use you in front of other folks. But, you know, this is their real fleet. And so this top half of this page is really kind of an executive overview, right? I've got my Trivial Pursuit page over here. At a glance, I can see my slices of pie, what's going on with my fleet. They've got a little over 2,000 trucks on the road operating this morning. All right, and then central here in this middle area is that Pareto of those faults. And like I say, what's important to understand around the severities and indicators is that was not just us. That's us with Cummins, Eaton, Allison, Bendix, Wadco, and so forth, weighing the 18,000 give or take possible faults on a modern commercial vehicle today and working to make it to where you can understand what's going on without plugging a laptop in, without chasing that thing around. Again, think about pre this sort of technology existing. Many of you would get a truck into your shop, to a dealership, to an engine distributor. And, you know, the ask was, please, can you just put a laptop on it? Tell me what's wrong so I figure out, do I got to tow that truck, put the driver in a hotel? What do I do? Leveraging this tool gets rid of that question. All right. So let's explain what we're seeing in this Pareto here. And we're going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So no actionable faults is a great big bucket. There's a lot of communication happening on these vehicles, right? Lots of computers trying to talk at the same time. If they speak out of order, I end up triggering some faults that faults aren't problems, right? So there's a lot of things we don't need to do. Service soon at a glance looks like there's a lot of things I'm going to need to do eventually on this fleet. But again, many of these things will resolve themselves. And we named it that way because a customer, if you look in it, dig into the health report, which we're going to show you, walk through the fault code action plans. If the driver says, yeah, that's happening, you're not stopping using the truck today. You're not service failing your customer who's waiting on a pickup or a delivery. You're not plowing snow. You're not pulling power lines. You're finishing everything you're doing, and you're looking ahead to handle it when it's convenient for you. That driver's going on home time next Thursday? Great. Let's handle that when he or she's out. I've got 3 more days on this project. I get it back. Fantastic. Talking to the meteorologist, I got 2 more days of pretty heavy plow and salt. Okay, we'll deal with it over the weekend. Again, this is about what's convenient for you where we don't fail any of your constituencies or customers. Service immediately sounds like I'm saying pull it over, put a hook on it. What came to light very quickly as we went to pilot the solution is in many of our customers, drivers don't get to talk to someone who's a technician or who really understands the vehicle, right? They talk to a driver manager, a dispatcher, somebody in operations, a supervisor who may not know very much about the truck either, right? So we have this conversation about some light that came on, and we ask the question, well, how's it driving? And if the driver says anything that sounds like okay, that tends to be the last thing anybody remembers. All right, so we drive it for 2 more weeks and it comes back to us and we have 6 things to fix. Service immediately is written so that the maintenance organization and our dealers and at your place can talk to those dispatchers and operations people and say, I know you heard it's okay. I'm telling you it's not. Finish what you're doing today. Don't send it out to do things tomorrow. Let's fix one problem one time, put it back in operation faster, right? And then stop now. These 23 trucks out of that 2,000 would be the ones that, again, as we look at them, call, speak to the driver. He or she says, you know, yeah, that is happening. That may be the one we take away. Now, I want to give a caveat. You think about that 1,000 trucks. That's a lot to digest. I'm including vehicles that those faults have gone inactive. They may have resolved itself. The driver may have taken some action that cleans that up. You know, maybe we got out of weather, put some 911 in the tank. We've cleared up what looked like diesel starting to gel, right? So when I get rid of those inactive faults, these numbers shift pretty dramatically. So if I were out in Iowa today, either at our facing dealer or at the customer, I'd get rid of those first to go approach that truck. So now I'm down to one that I might need to take away right this instant. So in a click, we have a way for that to become visual for you all as customers. You can see where that vehicle is. Maybe you're regionalized. You know, for our school bus customers on the call, all right, all your buses are in town, right? This map view may not make sense. So in a second, I'm going to show you a grid display of all this same data. But again, you can visualize what's going on. I can see that I have a stop now. I have indications that I may go into a derate. I got a safety related issue. There's a lot going on with this truck, right? So we can dig into that and walk you through it. Health report is the second step along the way. And some of you even at this point are saying, Dave, you talked about 18,000 faults. I don't know that I need to read all that, and I'm sure not real comfortable understanding it. Well, here's where how we built the solution matters. Certainly, we have an 800 number available to support you and have you reach out. What's more important is the investment that Western Michigan K&R has made to have folks that understand this data. Our service teams throughout US, Canada, and Mexico have read these health reports for over a decade. You can call any dealership in the network, give them the VIN number of vehicle, even your all makes trucks, and in their native service operation, they can go in, look at this health report, and they will coach you on what it is we're seeing, and you two can make a decision together. So it's important to call out, you're not alone in this journey. This data is there for our dealer network to get involved and help you make the right decision faster. And I can't stress enough the investment that Ed and his other dealer principals are making in this space to have the understanding and the bodies to leverage what we do is why we succeed. It would not work without them. It also doesn't work without you. So health report structure we use, right? And what I want to call out from Telematics is we're receiving data from some of our devices. This truck is one of them, as fast as every 5 seconds. So we're getting odometer, fuel, engine hours, faults, are they active, inactive, throw counts, temperatures, all this stuff's coming in, 192 data points, give or take. Imagine a flip chart in a conference room. We're writing that down as fast as we get it, right? We track it and hold this data for 7 days. We tear that flip chart off, stick it on the wall so we've got it in history, and resume writing things down. So everything I'm going to look at on this truck has happened in these 2 days. Gives you some context around what's going on, right? If I looked down and I had a single fault count and we're in the 6th day, all right, that's not something that's been developing. We scroll down and we see in a short time period a lot of faults. All right, maybe the problem's there. Maybe it's a wiring harness, a bad pin, something like that, right? I can't really diagnose it sitting here reading, but it gives you the guidance how to sculpt those questions. So we come down here and there's a lot going on, right? We've got some after treatment stuff, loss of data link. We got low tire pressure. This vehicle happens to have a TPMS system on it. Lots of things to stare at and think through. So again, those severities are stack ranked. Again, those temperatures, pressures, all that stuff when that fault last reported into me. Bright yellow tells me they're active, but what's going to be important and where you're going to go to figure out what's going on is this thing called fault code action plan. Again, this is pure service. I'm now taking you into what our technicians in our dealers and those of y'all on shops that have access to our service information use to fix these trucks every day. And again, in this case, this vehicle has the X15 in it, and we have some facts about it that it's an information-only fault code unless there's other SCR-related faults. So again, I'm kind of sculpting the things for you to think through. How do I ask the question to the driver, is this going on, right? And as I come down, again, around this particular fault, I've got 2 real questions to review with this driver. Has the mill lamp come on? Has there been any change in engine performance? Are you seeing low power, a stutter, anything like that, right? And again, it's possible for the driver to say no to both of these answers. That indicates I got a fault and I got something where I still need to bring it to the shop and figure out the why, but it's not necessarily the and I have an issue that I have to fix. All right, so those are kind of the 3 pieces, right? Identify the truck, look at the health report, put it all in context, go into the fault code action plan, ask the questions. And again, if you're the one fixing the truck, One click to the diagnostics package, one click to get the Cummins Quick Serve online if you got to work through that system. And again, in the case of Cummins, they provide some additional detail where I can link through on a short page on their side where, again, if you have access to their connected diagnostics or their Quick Serve online tool, you can dig deeper into their exact requirements and part numbers and all of that around it. That's a lot of data in a hurry, right? Dave, what's the second way I digest it? Well, I'm going to move to a page in this system called Vehicle Scans. And again, Vehicle Scans is a different way to digest the data, right? Some of us are very visual in how we learn, looking at the map, seeing where the truck is. That all makes sense. Others on this call, you know, I've got municipal trucks. I'm in a district of the state. I'm a school bus operation. That's not going to make sense. I'm not going to stare at a map of 50 vehicles in my town, right? So the Vehicle Scans page that building really is a living, breathing spreadsheet, right? Our back end is Microsoft Azure, so there's a lot of Microsoft tools built into this. And you can see I've got my severities and my fault indicators, so I can pull through that data and work to understand the things I care about. Now, some functionality I want to show you, again, differently. Like I say, this is a living spreadsheet, right? All of these columns, when you get into it, and again, as we do that in-depth training for you, they're one-touch sort of ascending toward descending. I have search functionality, like doing a Control F on this thing. It's a really powerful tool. So those of you comfortable with Excel, you're going to work on this page and be fine. If you're inclined to want to play with it yourself, we've built export functionality all over the system. You can put it into your own spreadsheet, pivot table, slice and dice, and Julienne fry all you want. A piece I want to show you that's important here is this item we call fault family. So again, us and our team kind of walked through severities, and we've stack ranked how bad do we think it is. Fault family is where, with some training, you can go in and target specific issues. So I've got a search bucket here in a test that I'm going to go look for trucks with headlights, and I'm going to look for trucks with low coolant, because those are two things that are easy to mask. And on the headlight thing, it's pretty easy for a driver to ignore it, find himself at the scales, or if I have a police officer find him. And I turned a $40 bulb into a 400 road call, because too many of our drivers haven't taken a class that's yes sir, no sir, I'm sorry sir, thank you for letting me on my way, sir. So I've boiled the ocean very differently. I'm going to do a one click and change where I got that device from. And you can see I've got this truck here showing I got a right headlight fault. All right, common sense drags us into what that question may be and how to talk to the driver about it. But, you know, there's different constituencies in your companies too, right? So when I get to this fault code action plan, what's going to be a little bit different is our team has gone through and taken the things that can affect your CSA scores. Headlight's an easy one to find, and we've gone through and put things in context so you can explain, again, to dispatch and operations, to your compliance team, and to that driver, why we have to deal with this right now. So you're seeing the things that would be on that fix-it ticket if this truck were the focus of what we're doing today, right? So again, another way to weigh these things out, dig into the data and present it to you. And again, from a question standpoint, it's pretty straight ahead, right? Either your right low beam doesn't work or both headlamps are inoperative in its entirety. So again, pretty straight ahead. And we admit we're cherry picking for that one, but just to show you that it's not only about what I care about, you can bend this tool to make it about the things that you care about, because you know your operations better than any of us could. So the take action piece in OCC happens in two places. Something like a headlamp, we're probably not waiting on the dealer to get that in, right? You need to handle that where it is so I don't go to the scales. So any place I have a location, whether I've resolved it to an address or if it were GPS coordinates because they are on the road and I hadn't quite nailed it down, one click is going to carry me through to a vendor database. And that database has all the dealers, the truck stop chains, everybody we've got that you would need to put at your fingertips. What we saw with our smaller customers is we could teach them all that stuff we just walked through really fast about fault codes and health reports and action plans. And then we'd see folks on our website, Cummins's webpage, truckdown.com, trying to find somebody who could help them. So we took on the task of consolidating that together for you. So bear with me while it builds that up. Brian, have I missed anything in these few minutes?
No, I think you hit it. You hit the nail on the head. One thing I'll add that when I train fleets about the burnt out headlights, that usually stops the meeting because that's the #1 problem in a lot of major fleets. The next call I had from a fleet is a week later after the training, they said, could you tell us when the headlight burnt out? And yes, you can. You click on the fault and it'll tell you it burnt out 3 days ago. It'll actually give you the first time it pinged, it wasn't working. Because I said, you have a problem with a driver not doing a pre-trip? And they smiled and said, yep, that's exactly what's going on. The driver came in with a bill saying, pay for the CSA violation. And they turned around and wrote the driver up because it happened 3 days ago. So it's really helpful and it can help your CSA score to add more color to that. Thanks, Dave.
No worries, Dave. So here you can see, again, there's the visualization of the truck. This is an International with the X15 in it. So I'm showing you our stores and the Cummins distributors, right? Certainly we'd like everything to be that, but let's face the reality. It may be that some of you run and pack our products. So we bring those folks in. And like I said, these are all the dealers and OEs. Proof of that all makes focus that we've got. Do you use TA Petrol? Great. We've worked to sort those out and load those folks in. You can one click find out where that truck is, get them there to get that headlight done, right? You're not into them, you're more a flying J pilot guy. That's okay. We can do that too. We've got that sorted out. I came from fleet breakdown. Tires were 32 to 36% of my life. And so we've done the work to work with our friends at the tire shops. Let's say you run Michelin. They're pretty strong in the Southeast where this truck happens to be. Again, one click. Here's the folks that accept Michelin national account that can bill you through and get that tire handle for you. So again, a powerful tool, especially for things that aren't necessarily what we do at dealers. Here's where I get to hyperlink over and pass things over to Brian. This green button here that says request service is where I move this data from my environment into International 360 and position you to walk through that repair with the fleet. So in a click, it's going to open up Hirschbach's i360 page and prepare us to be ready to open the write-up. And I know I said this in the intro. The thing about 360 is it is tied into the dealer's DMS system. This top truck here happens to be that. It's both at a dealership that's tied to DMS and it's an i360 vehicle. So in a glance, you can know that everything that happens is occurring between you and the dealer network live inside their internal systems. So Brian, was there anything in the chat before I pass this over to you to walk through 360?
No, I think we're good. There's nothing in the chat. And the only thing, if you can go back to close that out, I'll be sharing my screen in a second. But also in there, there's other tools. This was just a high-level overview, but there's other great tools below the green box where you can you can click and forward an email that shows all the data on the truck, so you could send it to somebody, one of your managers. You can reset the data in the cloud, not on the truck. There's a lot of other tools, and that's one of the advanced classes in the future. We'd love to take our time. Here's an example Dave pulled up. You can send an email to one of your people to get this vehicle addressed. So we easily bundle and package everything for an easy communication. It could be to, I hate to say it, but we know your life. You might be sending it to a brand X dealer. Brand X dealers get these all the time from fleets because you have the data. Let's give it to them so you get a streamlined repair wherever you go. Okay.
All right. Well, with that, we'll leave that. And like I say, Brian's going to walk you through the 360 tool in depth.
Perfect. Thanks, Dave. So Dave did a nice volley, and again, Dave, if you want to watch the chats, and Dave, can you see my screen now, or Michelle?
It's pulling through. We got it.
Okay, great. So now, just to make sure we're grounding ourselves, it's in OnCommand Connection is a remote diagnostics application. There are many other great tools in there, like over-the-air programming we didn't get into today. That's an advanced class. You can do parameter updates and other things and reporting. There's a ton of stuff that we didn't even get into. International 360 or IC Bus 360, for anybody from the bus side, this application is about service communication with the dealership. I am logged in actually as the fleet director from Hirschbach Motor Lines. And right now they have 19 vehicles that are in a repair status. 5 are indicated as ready. There's 1 with action required. So that means the dealer saying, hey, please approve this estimate so we can proceed, or there might be another question for the dealer. Service requests is where you as a customer could actually create a work order to the dealership before it arrives so they can see what's coming. So what I can do, this is called a repair order card. So the left-hand navigation menu is so you can filter to the information you want. In the middle, these are repair order cards. Now, if you don't want to, if you're a larger customer and you have more cards, we have a feature called List View, and I'll just show that quickly. List view, we have customers that are using this like JB Hunt or Swift or Knight or England that have hundreds of vehicles every day in the shop, and they wanted a more compact view. So this way, what you can do is put it into an Excel grid. I can even collapse my left-hand menu, and I could see everything going on in a more compact view. Let me I'm going to go back to card view, and also I can bring on the left navigation. So that's a nice feature that you have here. There's also features in the top area where you can set your profile. We also have a feature called Twitter feed, or what happens is as notes are coming in, it'll show up in the right-hand menu. Nick doesn't use that feature because his call center manages that, but you have a feature also over here that would be like a Twitter feed, we call it. So let's take a look at a work order card. And what I've done is I've pinned a couple. When you look at the top right, there's a thumbtack. You can actually click it and it'll save it to pinned items. If you click it a second time, it pins for your organization. So somebody else, maybe in your breakdown team or your service team, would actually put it on top as a reminder, hey, keep an eye on this vehicle. I can see my pins or my team pins. So if I look at this vehicle, I pinned a couple here. And this one here, I can see the status of the vehicle. This is unit number 29523 and unit 20033. And this job was written up to Thompson Truck in Dubuque, Iowa. And I can see there was an update today at 9:24. This unit is now waiting on the bay. We'll keep you advised of the estimate. If I look across, anytime you want to hit this copy link, this little paperclip, if you click on it, you can now go to, let's say, Outlook. If you want to email it to somebody, what happens is that little paperclip is really handy, where you hit the paperclip and then I just do a paste, and that is a link directly to that card. So if you need somebody to look at it, it could be a service rep from Navistar or somebody else on your team. You're able to copy this and somebody can go right to this card. In the center here, this is a description about the vehicle. And also this is the VIN number. The VIN number, what this would do, and what I'll do is I'm going to do, I call Magic Oven. I'm going to click on it. This will take you directly to the service portal. This button here is called Parts Catalog. This will take you directly to the parts catalog for that vehicle. So when I clicked on this, it opened up the vehicle information page, and it's going to take 1 second to load. But this will take you right to the service information page. Also, it has telematics on this vehicle, and it could be our telematics or your telematics that's integrated. So I always have the miles or kilometers. We have a lot of dealers up in Canada and Mexico, so we put both. And also we have the vehicle's engine hours. So we have all the information at our fingertips. We have information about the dealership. If I need to know more information, I click on provider details. The vehicle's been there 19 hours. Its estimated time of completion will be February 4th. So it'll be ready on Thursday, it looks like, or Friday. So let me hit more. You can hit this more. And what this will do, this takes me to the service portal. This takes me to the parts catalog. If I hit the more, what this will do is it'll take me, why is it there? It's coming in for a DOT and a 60-point service. I can also look at, it's called Fleet Profile. You as a customer could explain to all our dealers, how do you want to be treated when you're there? What is your approval process? Who do you call? All the information about your organization. This way you have network exposure. Asset details. We actually have the high-level specs of the vehicle. Also, we have the ability to run a maintenance system in here where you can actually track your oil changes and maintenance based on fuel economy. So it lets you stretch that, and that'll be more of an advanced class for you. The vehicle's health, it'll actually take the health report from the vehicle. In this case, this vehicle is written up with our write-up tool at the dealership or the telematics scans, shows you where the vehicle's at, and it gives you the faults. Very similar to what Dave was showing earlier. This vehicle has an air conditioning actuator not working. Right here, if you click on this, this will take you also to the fault code action plan. Managed repairs is campaigns and recalls. They're all complete. You can also look at timeline. Timeline is really neat. It documents everything that was said. So as it's in the shop with our dealerships, and Western Michigan International does a great job. Their service team does communication. Even if you're not connected, they keep track of their vehicles, and all the communications all documented, and even attachments will be here. And then this will drop you right over to the components on the vehicle. That's called the line set ticket. It'll take you to the warranty page, which will tell you what's covered under warranty and also vehicle case history if there were prior service requests to our tech service team. I'm going to look at one other one here. This one here, I was going to look at health on this because this is an example of this truck just came in with this data is coming in from Geotab. Also, we see the shop's technician tools coming in. Anytime our dealer scans the vehicle with a service tool or from Telematics, we keep getting scans throughout the day of the health of the vehicle as Dave described earlier. So at 360, you have the history of all the service communications and what's going on with your vehicle. So you can request, you can actually talk back to the dealer and say, can I please get an update? You can send it as an email, internal note, send as text. So this will communicate back to the dealership, document what you're asking. So everything is time-stamped. And also we have a lot of good filtering capability. Right now I'm showing the open jobs. You could say, give me closed and delivered jobs, and it'll do that as well. I can see I have 3 jobs waiting for an approval from me. So I go on pending authorization, and I can see this is at Rush, and I can say that vehicle, I can see the parts are already charging out, and I could go into timeline, and in the timeline of communications, they'll have an estimate attached to that job, so you can approve the estimate. So that right in here, here's the communications, all the different communications happening on this truck. And in here, I'm going to take a look if there's attachments. There should be attachments down here. These are all the communications here. So yeah, here's an attachment here. This is the estimate here. So you as a customer can download your estimate. So everything is record kept and stored for over 10 years. Where this a 2-year-old system, we have no intention of deleting any data. So we covered a lot here. This is just a high level of 360, but also some of the new features is the maintenance tracking. Any questions so far? What I could do real quick, let me simulate one other user, and I'll just, because I know we're a little bit good on time, I'm going to go into another customer and share how we can track maintenance in the application. This here is a new feature called International 360 Advanced Preventative Maintenance. And what I'll do is I'll go down to a customer that's using the application for maintenance tracking. And as a customer, I have, I can see I have 9 vehicles that are overdue, 12 due soon. So I can click on this and it gives me a summary of the vehicles. And I can see this one is overdue on maintenance here. And this is an international. Also in here, we have Peterbilt's. This is an all makes solution. You could track maintenance on any vehicle if it has telematics. So I can see this one is maintenance due soon. I click on it and go into the maintenance tab. And I can see that DOT is due in 10 days. So once I can see the history of all the services done, and then I can click on log maintenance. And this is, I say, once you do the DOT, you can add a scanned image of the DOT inspection. It automatically tracks my information. I hit save and it resets all the calculators. For that, it would be 12 months from now, it'll come live again. So this is very flexible where you can have as many different services, up to 7 different levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This customer is using 5 levels that you can do your oil changes, track DPF cleaning and other things. That's all integrated for you. You can do this work as a customer, and also it integrates to our dealer. So when it arrives at the dealership, when they write up the vehicle, they can see that you have maintenance that's due soon. That's just a high level of how the maintenance application works. All right, we covered a lot. Dave, what did I miss?
Again, I think we nailed it for a high-speed pass-through. I'd say we open it up for questions. If there's anything somebody wants us to go back to, certainly
Absolutely.
Western Michigan team, if there's some color you want to add to how you guys leverage this tool, this would be when we do that, right?
Yep. I think you can also unmute. You don't have to just use the chat. You can unmute your line and ask a question if you don't want to chat on text.
Yep.
So this is Ed. I'll get things rolling a little bit to open it up. So we use this on our Ideal lease fleet.
Yep.
And it's just is a huge maintenance benefit for if you get a breakdown or something on the road. We can have our internal guys look at the diagnostics, because otherwise you're kind of at a hearsay mercy level. So it's been a huge benefit just to be able to diagnose a customer's vehicle, that customer being our own, just to get it back to the shop, or if it needs to have something done right away. So we highly encourage it, even using a demo, or trying it once, just to takes a little bit to
Yep.
learn, but the more you are in there, the more benefits you see of having it. So
If there's anybody on the line, we could work with Michelle and get you live on a demo on either of the applications. So there's OnCommand Connection we talked about, which is remote diagnostics. If you have Telematics, and it's one of our 33 that's integrated to OnCommand, we can, if you're not set up, we can help you get set up. And then with International 360, it doesn't technically require telematics, it just enriches more information. International 360, we can also help you get set up on that as well. I'm working with the Western Michigan team, it's a really great benefit as you work together with the customer, or with customer to the dealer. Any other questions? I think people are plowing snow. How about you, Rob? Mr. Lovers?
Yeah, I would say too, just to kind of reiterate what Ed said, a lot of powerful tool, a lot of great information for fleets. And I think this is a great overview. Like you said, a lot of information if you're taking it in for the first time, but we would be glad to set up, one-offs where we can have our own team and a team from Navistar kind of work individually with a salesperson and your fleet maintenance team to really deep dive into it and try to get it very customized for your fleet. I mean, I think one thing you can see from the system is it's very customizable. So what's important to one fleet might not be important to another fleet, but we can really dial it in and make it really specific to what you want to get out of the system. So I would encourage you to, reach out to your salesperson, reach out to me. I think Michelle will make our information all available to everybody that's on the call today, so you have the right contact information. But to Ed's point there earlier, it's been a really useful tool for our own fleet, and we just want to make sure we're making it available to everybody else on the call and all of our customers for that matter. The nice part of it is we'd love all the trucks to be internationals, but we realize that they're not. So the nice thing about this system that none of the other systems can offer is it's integrated to all fleets, so we can pull fault codes off of all manufacturers. So you have one source to go to if you're running the fleet. You can get all of your fault codes for your entire fleet and not have to log into several different systems to do that. So
that's a great point. I'd like to share, when we built OnCommand, we were sitting in a call center for a large fleet, and actually I spent the whole day tracking how many different websites they used, and they went to 17 different websites because they have to go to fault code monitoring for one OEM and another. So we really tried to focus on that. There's a couple great questions about Samsara. First off, yes, we're integrated where we can, it's called ingest the information into OnCommand Connection for remote diagnostics, but also Samsara, if you're not running their camera system, our device that is built on our big trucks, on the Lone Stars, LTs, and RHs, it will actually simulate a Samsara device. If on the medium or severe trucks also, you can get our device on the severe trucks. The HVHX, it's standard with the big bore engine. So we already integrate with Samsara ingesting from their device, and also they'll take our device and make it an ELD device. Dave E-Road, is that one that's done yet, or they're working on?
They've got, no, E-Road is not completed. They've got our data integration framework and all the technical documents to do that work, but they have not given us a timeline to get into the infrastructure. So, Roger, I'd encourage you, if you've got a sales contact there, you got a customer aligned with them, have them reach to the E-Roads team and poke them. The reality of a lot of those 33 partners feeding us data today on the ingestion Brian spoke to, it was our mutual customers that motivated them to do the right thing.
Yep. So it's on the way. We're ready. We provided them the information to hook up to us. We're just waiting on that and waiting for the right customer. But if you are on Samsara today, you can contact Samsara and you can explain or work with our team and we can help you.
Yeah, if you're currently using Samsara, we could have your OCC dashboard up in under 30 minutes. Their integration with us, you've got access to the API key right in your administrative page in Samsara. Drop that key into our system and the data transfer starts almost immediately.
Okay. That was great. Any other questions? Let
Can
me
you
ask
pull
you this.
costing reports?
Say that again?
Is there any way to pull like life cycle costing or maintenance category? Like say, I want to know how much we spent on tires last quarter.
That's a great question. Currently no, but we are working in that direction. When we look at 360 in the horizon of this, we will be going to that area is to costing. But what I would recommend if you're using our fleet charge credit card, there is the capability where you can do reporting from the fleet charge credit card portal and you could pull all the data down of all your financial transactions directly from fleet charge. So the answer is yes, but it's not this application, it's fleet charge.
Okay.
Okay. And do you use a fleet management system today or are you using Excel or a Big Chief tablet?
We're flying by the seat of our pants, mostly using Excel.
Well, I'd love to work with you on the PM side and love to even have you be part of steering us as we grow into the costing. But we'd
Okay.
love to work with you more. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of labor that goes into it, but it yields a lot of good data. And if you could cut down the labor cost for that yield, I mean, it makes it more useful.
Well, what I'm thinking is right now you're using Excel. I can move you right into an environment to track your maintenance here, and then we could start working with you to figure out your needs on your costing. And I'll put you in the roadmap of where we're going.
Okay.
That'd be great. I'd like to get a follow-up, Michelle, if you could connect us, that'd be great. And Rob?
Yep, will do.
That'd be great. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, there's a lot we covered. Now, maybe it could be a show of hands on the top. You can actually give a thumbs up, or would you want an advanced class in a few months from now, Rob and Michelle? Hopefully, once the weather starts peaking a little bit nicer, we could go to the next level and go a little bit deeper into OTA and other things. So
another question came in, Brian, from Angela.
Oh, great, Angela. I'm a transportation manager. Can I get alerts emailed me? Yes. Dave, you want to take control again and go back in and show how you could do instant alerts?
Yep, bear with me a second while I get that.
Yeah. So as he's doing it, I'll add some color. In the instant alerts, you can make it go to specific people. You can also set up different groups of vehicles. And in OnCommand Connection, there is a reporting tool that you can send instant emails, or you can have weekly reporting. You could have monthly reporting. So the answer is yes. And I say it's really not an advanced training, but we didn't go through it today because we'd save it for advanced. But Dave is going to share his screen and show you exactly where to do that.
Yeah, so we do have a reporting suite. There's some baked reports, custom reporting, which is where you're going to find that you're talking about. And then some premium reporting, which is where those intelligent fleet care solutions hide. So from a custom report perspective, we present things historical, looking back a day, a week, a month, and then event driven would be receiving that notification as we process it. Now, since I don't know the data source at this level, we call out, it may be delayed by as much as 15 to 30 minutes, pending what we're receiving. But those event driven reports, the way I'd have you think about it is this is analog to the front dashboard where I can look at one thing at a time. And candidly, it's because we don't want to flood your inbox, right? So, you're able to pick the things you have visibility to. What source is it coming from? I can target all the way down to a specific truck. If I've got one that's a hanger queen that's haunting me, I can make that what I get email on, right? And then we allow you to pick one severity level or one fault family. So we don't stack it up because, again, we don't want to flood you out. But like Brian said, after you've got that, whoever's building it's automatically there, and adding another recipient, is as easy as having a name and putting them through. And so, like I say, that gets you the event driven. Historical, because I'm looking backwards at a day, operates like the vehicle scans page I showed you, where you can make multiple selections, put it together, because it's going to come to you as a PDF or an Excel document, and you're going to be able to work, again, looking backwards through that data that way.
Okay.
Another question from Sean as well.
Yeah, this one here, Dave, I was reading while you were talking. We have the ability, in fact, we work with larger customers today on hooking up to our Azure cloud. I guess Dave mentioned Azure. We use a cloud environment for managing the data. And so we do have the capability to hook up to a fleet's database. So we would have to just work with West Michigan to inquire with us to put a project plan together for that.
Yep, and Sean, a real life example of that is we are working with our partners at Trimble on their TMT product. Customers running that solution will be able to ingest this data in their native screens shortly. And then we're certainly working with Soteris, AssetWorks, and others. So.
Yep. Okay. Anything else? We really hope this was useful. I'll turn it back to Mr. Lubbers, Michelle, Mr. Reitman. Thank you very much for the time today.
Thank you so much, Brian and David. We really appreciate it. It's an excellent presentation. Thank all of our customers for joining. Very much. We appreciate it. We're going to follow up with you, send you some information, send you an interest form so that we can follow up with you if you need more information or would like to sign up or just have any questions whatsoever. We'll send you all that information, all the contact information. And we thank you again. And Rob and Ed, if you have any closing comments, we'll be wrapping it up.
I'll just reiterate, we appreciate everybody's taking an hour out of their day to join us. And one of the things I do enjoy by watching these presentations is it's an ongoing change. So they're always improving the product as well. So adding new features. So I think we're really excited about even the future, and even reach out to your salespeople. It's not a huge cost to get started if you don't even have telematics. So GeoTab, any of them, it's not a huge upfront cost to get started. So I'd encourage you just to reach out, ask for a demo. We got guys on staff that can come out to your place and demo it and go from there. But it is the future, so it's all part of future maintenance. So
yeah, and I apologize. I do want to make sure I get later, if you can get the contact who was asking the question about the maintenance that's used in Excel. I definitely would like to do a follow-up meeting and help maybe work with Bill from WMI to set up the customer and get them rolling.
Yep, I got Spencer down.
Great,
Okay.
thanks. Okay.
Yeah, and then also just so you guys are aware, Randy McGregor is on, and he is our dealer advocate. So he's our guru, and he'll be able to help out and go out with the sales team as well to do any one-on-one demos.
Great, thank you. All right.
You folks have a great rest of your day. Stay warm and be safe, will you?
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
everyone.
thanks,
Hey,
everybody.
Just drop me a line.
Have a good day. We'll do,
All right,
Spencer.
thank you.
Thank you.